Under the shadow of Genghis Khan, life in the Mongol Empire was anything but ordinary. This was a world ruled by unforgiving laws, where even the smallest mistake could end in death, and where peace was never more than a brief pause between wars. In this video, we pull back the curtain on the harsh realities of everyday life under the rule of history's most feared conqueror. The brutal laws of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan governed his vast empire through an uncompromising legal code known as the Yasa. Designed to unify a diverse population stretching across continents, the Yasa imposed absolute discipline at the cost of personal freedom. These laws governed every aspect of life, from theft and loyalty to marriage and moral behavior. Punishment was swift and merciless. Theft, no matter how minor, was punishable by death. Stealing a single animal from a neighbor could lead directly to execution. Adultery was treated just as harshly, often ending in exile or death without trial or appeal. Persian historian Ala ad-Din Javani, writing in the History of the World Conqueror, noted that Genghis Khan believed total obedience was essential to maintaining unity and strength. The Yasa was meant to inspire awe and fear, tools as important as swords and arrows. No one was exempt. Friends, relatives, even members of the Khan's own family were subject to the same brutal justice. For ordinary people, the Yasa was an ever-present threat. It was both a shield protecting the empire and a blade aimed at dissent. Under this system, survival depended on strict obedience. One mistake could be fatal. Daily life on the steppe, life in the Mongol Empire demanded constant endurance. The vast Central Asian steppes were relentless scorching summers followed by bone-crushing winters. Food, water, and grazing land were never guaranteed. The Mongols, known as the people of the felt tent, lived in portable yurts made of wood and felt. Their lives revolved around livestock, horses, sheep, goats, and movement was constant. Even water was carefully rationed. There were no luxuries. Life was lived almost entirely on horseback and required immense physical stamina. Men, women, and children all worked relentlessly, herding animals, foraging, repairing tents, and preparing for the next migration. Food was dried or fermented, as fresh produce was rare. Survival depended on efficiency and resilience. While conquest brought wealth to some, most Mongols lived modest, demanding lives shaped not by choice, but necessity. Merciless punishments. The Mongol justice system was infamous for its cruelty. Order across such a massive empire was maintained through fear, and punishment was often public and deliberately brutal. Beheading was common, but it was far from the worst fate. Crimes such as treason, desertion, or defiance of the Khan could lead to slow and horrific deaths, dismemberment, execution by trampling, or being torn apart by horses. Accounts from travelers like Friar John of Plano Carpini describe punishments such as impalement or boiling alive, though historians still debate their accuracy. Regardless, the reputation alone was enough to ensure obedience. Loyalty was sacred. Soldiers who deserted could be executed alongside their families. Entire units were punished for failure. Captains could be executed if their men faltered, and villages destroyed for sheltering fugitives. Exile to the harshest regions of the steppe where survival was nearly impossible was another common sentence. Justice under the Mongols was unyielding, but it kept the empire firmly under control. Women under Mongol rule, polygamy was a central feature of Mongol society, especially among elites. Powerful men often took multiple wives, primary wives chosen for political alliances, secondary wives and concubines reduced to lesser status. Even high-ranking women were treated as property. The Yasa reinforced strict expectations of loyalty and obedience. Marriages were arranged, often as tools of diplomacy, between clans, and women rarely had a choice. Within marriage, a woman's role centered on serving her husband and producing heirs. Disobedience or perceived dishonor could lead to punishment, reinforcing a system where personal freedom was severely limited. A world of endless war defined life in the Mongol Empire. Conquest was not an occasional event, it was a way of life. Every able-bodied man was expected to fight, ride, and shoot with deadly precision. The empire expanded at an unprecedented pace, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. Chroniclers like Javani described the Mongol army as an unstoppable storm, fast, ruthless, and overwhelming. This constant warfare uprooted entire communities. Families followed armies across vast distances, while civilians lived under the constant threat of conscription. Retreat or failure in battle could mean execution. For conquered peoples, the reality was often worse. Cities that resisted were destroyed. Entire populations were massacred to spread fear and ensure future submission. Psychological warfare was as important as physical force. Life under the Khan. To live in Genghis Khan's empire was to navigate a world shaped by ruthless laws, daily hardship, merciless punishment, and endless war. It forged one of the largest empires in history but left few untouched by its demands. This was not simply a matter of allegiance. It was a test of endurance, obedience, and survival in a world where mercy was rare and fate was unforgiving. If you found this glimpse into the raw and relentless reality of life under Genghis Khan intriguing, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. There's much more to uncover about the hidden truths of ancient empires and how history's greatest leaders built their power at an extraordinary human cost.